Hello, hello. Let me know if you can see and hear me okay. This is going to be a group energy healing where I heal 145 people in, I think, 10 different countries because somebody didn't tell me they were traveling, but officially it's 9 different countries. And the theme will be abundance. It will be so cool. We will also do a lot of clearing of fear. You can be more courageous. So I'm going to get right to saying what we're doing today. In this particular healing, this is the second in the set of 2. That is the May twin set, 2025. I can spell. Okay, so it's abundance officially, but it'll be abundance receiving and clear fear today. That will be sort of the 3 things. And receiving, because receiving is almost the same thing as abundance. So we're going to work both. And then clear fear, because I saw that some people really needed it, plus it's the same chakra as abundance. So if you help one, you help the other, and vice versa. So first chakra at the base of the spine. First chakra right here on my AccuDoll buddy here. That's first chakra at the base of the spine. And so we're going to work both abundance and clear fear. What I want to say about that. Oh, abundance. You know, it's like, I often say it's like having what you need when you need it, or even, you know, having more than enough of what you need when you need it. So it's not strictly just limited to money, although it is money as well. It includes money issues, but also just, you know, having enough friends, enough, you know, support in your life, enough whatever, you know, having enough or more than enough. But I think that today we're also going to work more that strict idea of money. Strict. I didn't mean to say it that way, but specifically money, in addition to just, you know, having enough and being able to receive. So we're going to help you clear baggage around money and wealth and poverty and, you know, all that stuff, because we've all had a lot of past lives, and so you may have positive or negative experiences associated with, you know, having a lot of money or having no money. Maybe some judgments. One time I took this really interesting car ride with this person who proceeded to tell me, like, they were, I guess they thought they were just teaching me, and they're like, all poor people are good people and rich people are all bad people. And I was like, really? All poor? So he really believed that, like, all poor people are just ethically pure. And kind of, you know, the good ones, which, you know, is not true. I mean, there are really awful people that also happen to be poor, and there are really, you know, awful meaning unethical, maybe sociopathic even, people that are rich, you know, and poor, you know. So it's just, you know, in the US maybe the poor ones end up in jail and the rich ones just end up richer. You know, the sociopaths. But, you know, but that sort of value judgment about that, you know, the poor are good people and the rich are bad people, you know, that could be in the way of your abundance. Because if you get a lot of abundance, then you could become a rich person, you know, but you might have in your mind, no, rich people are bad people. I don't want to be a rich person because I'm not a bad person. You see what I'm saying? So So it's interesting. So we're gonna work, we're gonna use Mind Garden, the Mind Garden exercise to work, your conscious and subconscious mind to like help you get rid of limiting baggage so that you could, live by your values and your ethics and your morals, but also increase your abundance if that's what you want to do, including actual money abundance. So that should be interesting. Also, though, too, like, there's an expression like money is power, and so we'll work baggage around power too. Feeling powerless or, maybe fearing people that have power or, maybe having subconscious or conscious value judgments towards people that are in one situation or another, that could be limiting your ability, your abundance ability. Also material possessions, like any judgments or fears or self-esteem issues you have around material possessions. And also your attitude about money and abundance, because it's possible. I mean, there's like two different extremes that are not helpful, where like you could be completely feel really defeated and hopeless around your own personal abundance. And that is not just no fun. It can actually get in the way of your abundance if you have a super defeatist attitude about it, because you may actually be not taking angel classes in your sleep, on the Astral, that could help you clear your abundance baggage and increase your abundance in the waking physical world, because you just are stuck in this vibe of like, well, there's no hope. It's not going to change for me. So that can become, like that self-fulfilling prophecy kind of idea where you're just so, your attitude is so sour about abundance that you're not even subconsciously in your sleep working on it with your angels, because it's too depressing for you, So we're going to hopefully clear some of that heaviness, that hopelessness, off of it. So then you can, accept all the angel help that's being offered to you, as far as, working your abundance. On the other extreme, you can be completely deluded about abundance. Like, for example, I knew these people once that I would say were deluded about abundance, and they felt like it was their spiritual destiny to be, I don't know if it was millionaires or billionaires, but it wasn't just like $1 million. It was like multi-million errors. And they felt like that was their destiny. And to the point where like one of them like wouldn't let the other one take a certain job that was being offered, even though it was an actual good job, because that person was like, well, that job is beneath you, like we're destined to be, multimillionaires, so you shouldn't take that job, so meanwhile they're like on public aid, like with no money, and they have kids, but they had this delusion, I would say, that they're meant to be billionaires, and so therefore they have to, they can't take a regular person's job. So that's another extreme, I would say, in attitude about abundance, right? So you don't need to be deluded. You don't need to be completely crushed about it. Some sort of a open to positive change kind of mindset is a good thing, So we're going to work that too. So I'll write that down about the extremes. So hopeless versus delusions of grandeur, I guess that's what that is. Which, it could be that, one of us will become a multimillionaire. It's just that, I don't think that's ever like has to be a part of somebody's destiny in their life. And B, there are stepping stones, it's not just like, I mean, I suppose unless, you win some multi-million-dollar lottery, but usually there's stepping stones. And so, you can be too fixed on the idea of where you want to be and not see the steps to get there, because like, it's like with people, who become ultimately very famous, everyone tends to think they got famous overnight and they don't realize like that they were sleeping on couches for a while. And then they, had these very humble jobs for a long, long time, and then, it happened to work out for them that they are now super famous. But, stepping stones, being able to see stepping stones. I think that's part of what the angels meant when they had me name the theme for this month, abundance, mystical and practical knowledge. Putting mystical and practical knowledge into action was to like yank people out of delusion of like, okay, well, if you just think abundance, it's going to happen for you, and like they're, doing your taxes, getting actual work, that can really be a necessary part of it, So that idea of, being rational and logical, I think it's a good companion to this type of work. So I guess that's it. As far as technique, so I mentioned a little bit of technique in that we're going to use Mind Garden technique for part of it. But also, what we did on Thursday, in the first healing of this set, clear receiving baggage, I think that is really powerful. So we're going to do that again. And the way we did it that I like the most is like you just imagine all these gifts and offerings that are healthy and positive for you to receive. And, you can receive them cleanly. And they're from people, from angels, and from the universe. And like imagine them as like gorgeous flower petals or whatever you want to imagine them as. And then if you have, imagine what within you is sort of pushing that away, like resistance or whatever receiving baggage you have, and then go ahead and, mindfully melt the receiving baggage. So we're definitely going to do that more. And then another thing, as far as technique wise, would be unblocking receiving zones, which we have done before, maybe like in 2 different healings in the last couple months, but we haven't done it that often. It's somewhat new, where it's essentially like aura unblocking in a way, but it's very thorough and it's melting specific blocks that are preventing you from receiving what you as a spirit are trying to receive, through, and it acknowledges too that you don't just receive, down into your 7th chakra, that you can receive directly down into your shoulders, or even, from the front upper part of your body, or the front lower part of your body, the back upper, back lower part. So those are receiving zones. And then from beneath too, receiving earth energy. So, but you can, so we're going to do that, because when you clear receiving baggage, then it may be that you really, that takes a big limiting influence away from you. So now you're trying to receive a lot more, but then, you have these blocks. So it feels so like a weird pressure. So I think that'll be a good addition, is to unblock receiving zones. So. I'm just taking notes for a sec. So that's pretty much it for today. That's what we'll be doing. I think I'll also keep just as sort of like a supporting thing, in addition to the 5 essentials, grounding, aura repair, chakra repair, creative ring repair, and good karma window, base of skull point kind of work. We'll do chakra filaments. Repairing those, unblocking those, getting any hard objects out of them. Chakra filaments connect your 7 astral chakras with your 7 physical body chakras. And if there's junk in there, people can cord there in the filament itself rather than one of the chakras, and blast energy that can go both ways and blow up both astral and physical sets of chakras, or just one or the other. So sometimes if you have like a stubborn like discomfort somewhere, like your neck or your stomach or something, and you've already repaired chakras and auras and whatever, you're like, well, what is it? It could be, it's kind of a sneaky way to do it if somebody's sending blasts of energy through your one of your chakra filaments, or some invasive, there's damage there and some invasive beings are coming through one of the chakra filaments. So we'll be sure to continue to unblock those and repair them and work on them. You have good flow, because flow is like, even in traditional Chinese medicine, like flow reduces pain. If you have blocks, that's when you feel physical pain, blocks and damage. From my perspective, it's energy blocks and or damage, like damage to aura, damage to chakras, damage to meridians. If things are ripped up, then you don't have your normal healthy restorative flow going, and it can hurt, but also the energy, the blocked up energy, because blocked up energy, that in of itself would cause physical discomfort, but then also it's easy for invasive energy and invasive beings and invasive people to hook into those energy blocks and send energy in, and then that adds to the discomfort. So anyway, long story short, we'll do chakra filaments. Blah, 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 blah. All right, so I'm going to look at chat comments. There are not many, so that should be quick. But if you did want to say hi, say where you're viewing from, what the weather's like where you are, that could be cute. Here it's I'm in Olympia, Washington, in the Pacific Northwest of the United States, and today it looks sunny, which is nice. And it's probably like 50 degrees right now or something, if I had to guess. But yesterday it got up to like mid 70s. It was very pleasant. So someone says we can see and hear you. The smiley face, thank you. Someone says hello from Ottawa, Canada, Ontario, Canada. Can see and hear you clearly. Thank you. This is hi, joining from DC, the capital of the United States. Sunny and cool, 70 degrees. Really needed this healing. The concepts really help. Oh, good. Someone says hello, Janet and everyone. In sunny Las Vegas, Nevada. 89 degrees Fahrenheit. That's a little bit too warm for my taste. That would be heat wave territory where we are. That's what we would call it. A heat wave. But for you, I guess that's pleasantly cool. Thanks for the weather context in the first healing where you said Las Vegas has 100 days out of the year over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. That's a trip. Alrighty. Oh, we got another hello. That's good. Hey, Janet from partly cloudy, San Francisco, 60 degrees Fahrenheit with lots of pet emojis and flowers and all sorts of things. Well, thank you. Thanks for the weather report. That's interesting. We might be partly cloudy too. I'm seeing some clouds out one window, but the other window, it looks so bright. So maybe mostly sunny for us right now. Oh, right. So cool. We should get to work. We have a lot of good stuff today. Lots of goodies. Is there a sales update? I guess I should do a sales update maybe. The next, yeah, okay, fine. We'll make it quick. The next bunch, I mean, already on my website, there are June and July sets up for sale. And the June, I cannot believe June is coming soon, by the way. I just have to say that. It's been cooler, a relatively cooler spring for us. So that's part of why it doesn't feel like June is around the corner. But that's okay. So anyway, but June theme for June sets is to reduce heart fatigue, I think I called it, and increase motivation and enthusiasm. So that's going to be really, I'm looking forward to that one for sure. And then July theme, oh, strong boundaries. Always a favorite. Boundaries. One of the key ingredients for happiness in life is energy boundaries. So that should be great. But July sets go on sale in 20 days, roughly. 20, 21 days, something like that, on the 15th. They always go on sale on the 15th. So June 15th, that's when, I'm sorry, August healings go on sale. Next month on June 15th, because it's 2 months ahead always that they start selling. Oh, right. So that's that. It says hot, talking about their weather. Okay. I'm going to change my scenery. What do I want? Maybe this will help me feel like June is around the corner more. These are nasturtium leaves that are from taken in my garden at some point before the bugs took over and killed all the nasturtiums when the ladybugs were still in charge. You can see the little ladybugs, they're so cute. Okay, so hopefully that helps remind me that it's almost officially summer even. All right. Well, it's a month away from being officially. Okay. So now I will be quiet for a few minutes while I finish my prep. And towards the end of that, I will start the healing without talking. And then that'll be just for like a minute when I heal but don't talk. And then after that, I'll talk out loud as I work. So you could use it as an all levels walkthrough if you want and heal yourself as you listen. And there'll be plenty if you're a motivated newbie or even if you're very advanced. There should be a lot of stuff that's interesting. Bye. Okie doke. Okie doke. Thanks for waiting. So, hand chakras, you have one in each, the palm of each hand, and you also have a fingertip chakra, one in each fingertip. And the chakras have a round opening on each side, and energy comes out this way, out from your hand. And if you set the hand chakras and the fingertip chakras to a metallic gold color, then that's the color of energy that they generate. So you can do that with your intention. Anything that I'm doing in any of these healings, you could do without vision. Just use your intention or your imagination. Same difference. So you set them to a metallic gold color, then you can use that gold light to heal and unblock those energy centers. And while you're at it, you can unblock and heal a whole bunch of other stuff too, as you're kind of getting your hands all working. Because the more present you are in your neck, shoulders, and arms, the more present you are in your hand, because it's like your spirit goes in that way. It doesn't like click in this way. So you can't like skip your shoulders and be very present in your hands. You come through the shoulders and arms into the hands. You know, like if you're putting on a hoodie. Right? So let's unblock the whole route, including the neck. I feel like giving a lot of extra TLC to the neck today. So you can make a copy out in front of you of your shoulders, neck, and arms. And you know, just with your intention, you create it out in front, and then use gold light to melt away hard objects, melt away cords. You could say, angels, if there are any invasive beings messing with my neck, shoulders, and arms and hands, can you please recycle them? You can use sticky gold wax too. That's gold light from your hands that with your intention, it's going to stick to whatever's not you and form a lump. And then you just pick out the, you know, with the wax, all the junk that's not you and give it to your angels, right? So sticky gold wax, both sides of your neck, shoulders, and arms and hands. Have the gold wax and your upper back and upper chest while you're at it. And just have the gold wax stick to whatever's not you, that's healthy and gentle to get rid of right now. And you just lift the wax off with all the junk. Angels, here you go. And at any time, you can also just, you know, do some simple physical touch and massage at the same time. The sticky gold wax, your neck, shoulders, and arms and hands, and your chest and upper back. And have the gold wax form a lump and attach to whatever's not you, that's healthy and gentle to get rid of, and lift it all out at once. Give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Extra gold light to repair all the energy channels and meridians in those areas. Unblock. Especially for abundance, you know, sometimes like people put restrictions around hands or wrists as far as like receiving, you know, or like, you know, how like, you know, in modern culture that they'll put like handcuffs around somebody, right? So it could be from past lives or this life that you have some kind of a societal or, you know, from a person kind of block around your hands or your wrists. You can just melt all that away with gold light. Again, your neck. Lots of love for your neck. Gold light. In your neck and upper chest, you have your 5th chakra in your neck, round opening in the front, round opening in the back. This open cylinder shape. So your 5th chakra, just a little bit extra for that. And then your 4th chakra in the center of your chest. We're going to do more on repairing and unblocking all the chakras soon. Extra on 5th and 4th for kicks. All right, good job. So now you got your hand chakras going really well. Now let's do grounding. So you can make both your groundings really big and wide as all your auras, wide all the way down to the core of the earth, and wide behind you, in front of you. And you make a copy out in front of you of both your groundings. So both meaning one for your physical body energy system and one for your astral body energy system, which is you as a spirit. And you make a copy out in front of you of both your groundings and wash them out with the gold light from your hands. So you can melt blocked energy and wash everybody out. Even nice people, wash them out of your grounding. You say, angels, if there are any invasive beings messing with my grounding, can you please recycle them? Deep breath. Indie grounding is where you use gold light and you wash off the outer surface of your groundings all the way down to the core of the earth. And you melt away, with the gold light, you melt away any attachments, like where your grounding is trying to attach to somebody else's or vice versa. And just keep melting all that away. Also, if there are any hard objects sticking out, just melt those hard objects. So that your grounding is just for you. If you really care about somebody, it's not going to help them to have them plugged into your grounding. Better for them to have their own grounding. It works a lot better that way. Even for kids, it's better, young kids even, it's better for them to have their grounding go straight down and not into yours, so that they're not getting like the flavor of all your drama and vice versa. All right, good job. Okay, so you have 17 auras, your astral body aura, your physical body aura, and then 15 auras called Wei Qi auras. Wei Qi is a traditional Chinese medicine concept that relates to your strong boundaries energy. It is strong boundaries energy. So you have 15 auras that are gold and flowing, hopefully. That's what they're supposed to look like. And they're help you with your boundaries. So we're going to heal all those at once, repair them all at once. So make a copy out in front of you of all your auras. It generally looks like one big bubble, but it's really 17 bubbles in the same place. And you want to comb through it, check for rips. There could be several ripped in the same place. And maybe you feel like a little bit of a dip where that is. You can repair like this, just washing out the ripped part, and then it grows back if you keep using gold light. But we can repair all the rips at the same time, no matter where they are, and that is sometimes more newbie friendly, and it's also pretty time efficient. So you create an image of a rip and you say, okay, well, this represents all the rips in my 17 auras. So it's your composite copy rip. And then You clean it out first. I'm using sticky gold wax. So sticky gold wax, have it stick to everything that's not you inside the rip, like invasive beings, invasive people, hard objects, and lift all that out. The angels, here you go. So sticky gold wax, lift out all that junk that's not you. Angels, here you go. You can say too, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings in the way of this repair? Yeah, just get your gold light as deep as you can in that rip so that everything's cleaned out and starts to repair. So that probably repaired most of the rips, but we'll do it one more time just for any leftover rips. So make one more composite copy rip and just say with your intention, okay, well, this represents the leftover rips that I still have. And then go ahead and repair that. So sticky gold wax, clean it out. Angels, here you go. Sticky gold wax, get rid of all that junk like a big lump. Angels, here you go. Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings in the way of this repair? You can have leftover hardness in your auras as like a residue from having had energy thrown at you. So we don't want that hardness. That's going to weaken your auras. So you can put copies of all your aura hardness out in front of you. It might be like a crusty outer surface thing, or it could be a couple layers in a certain part of your auras. But just put copies of all the aura hardness out in front of you that you have, and go ahead and you could say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this junk? Deep breath. And then you can melt away people. People can be hoarding all this hardness. So just melt away the cords from people, wash everybody out of the aura hardness, wash your own energy out of it so that it melts fully. You could blow it up too if you want, after you wash everybody out. All right, keep combing through. So you should have taken care of most of all the rips that way. Hopefully all of them. You can check the outer surface. Maybe there are little pinhole leaks. So just use gold light to repair those. Again, you can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings in the way of this repair, can you recycle them, please? All right, you can redo your gold buffer zones. There's a video on that if you want to learn more. They're gold buffers that you make for your astral body aura and your physical body aura, and they slow the rate of aura damage if you keep recreating them. Yeah. We could repair your gold mesh spheres, which are within the Wei Qi auras. So you have 15 Wei Qi auras, strong boundaries energy, gold flowy light. And the gold flowy light is generated by these gold mesh spheres within each Wei Qi aura. You have 3 of them, an inner, middle, and an outermost one. So just imagine all your Wei Qi auras out in front of you and all the gold mesh spheres. And just, there could be places where there's a big gap where, at one point the aura was damaged there and that's why there's no more mesh. But then if you just use a lot of gold light, it grows back. The gold mesh spheres of the Wei Qi auras can grow back. All right, cool. So that's good enough for aura repair. Sometimes I debate whether or not to do chakra repair first or creative ring repair first, because it's kind of like they're both good and which one do you need more. So it's I just intuitively am looking at the people I'm healing and they need chakra repair more. If your chakras are like mostly okay, then creative and your creative rings have a lot of damage, then you do that first. But so it's not like life or death which one you do first between chakra repair and creative ring repair, but it does look like I have some people with really beat up chakras, so we'll do chakra repair first today. All right, so that was a debate that we just did about which one you should do first. Basically, bottom line, it's an intuitive decision based on how messed up each one is for you at that time. Creative rings versus chakra repair, which comes first? All right, so now we will just do chakra repair. And we're going to repair all major and minor chakras at once, because we can. So we'll use composite copy technique. You imagine a chakra shape and say, okay, well, this represents all my chakras, major and minor, of my body and spirit. So all the cool acupuncture points, chakras keeping energy flow in your arms, your legs. You have all sorts of cool energy centers everywhere, in addition to the major chakras along your spine. So just you have that copy out in front of you. It represents all your chakras, and just use lots of gold light, melt cords. You can have pairs of cords from people going into either the round openings. So just melt them away and melt the blocks, the energy blocks that people are cording into. And you can have damage to the chakras. It can look like cracks or missing pieces, like big missing pieces or little missing pieces, gashes, scratches, all sorts of fun possibilities for getting screwed up. So just use cold light everywhere. You don't have to be able to see, just use your intention or your imagination. Fine. Although we did work on unblocking your vision area of your 6th layer in front in the Friday healing. That was kind of neat. I should probably make that into a short video. No promises, but I should do it. I'm saying I should do it. Again, chakra repair, melting cords, unblocking. You could lift out the energy blocks that are healthy and gentle to get rid of and melt them away with gold light. Lift them out, melt them away with gold light. You say, angels, if there are any invasive beings screwing with my chakras, can you please recycle them? And that doesn't mean that now you have no invasive beings messing with any chakra. It just means your angels are going to recycle as many as is healthy and gentle for you to get rid of at once. But you can keep asking, like even a minute later, recenter, breathe, keep your work going, and you could ask again if you want. It's fine. You do a red earth energy soak. You could do a tricolor soak just for your chakras. So you have your composite copy chakra, and then bring up red earth energy, soak it in red earth energy, bring that down, bring up orange earth energy, soak in orange earth energy, bring that down, bring up yellow earth energy, soak it in yellow earth energy, straight from the core of the earth. And then if you're going to leave an earth energy soak, though, up for all your chakras, red is probably a safer color to leave up. For everything, because we're also doing acupuncture points, a lot of things that are very body related, and like definitely for the acupuncture points, those chakras red is ideal. But you don't have to leave an earth energy soak up. You can just wash it all off if you want. Using gold light to heal. Lift off the energy blocks, melt them away. Lift them off, melt them away. Take a second for some deep breaths. Your chakras have flaps around the round openings, kind of like this drawing, except the round opening is not gold. But otherwise, this does show if the flaps are open and they're irritated, and that's what they look like. You want them to be not like this. You want it to be smooth, like a smooth round opening without flaps sticking open. But if you have too many cords from people, then the flaps stick more and more open, and then it's easier for other people to cord you, and it kind of spirals at that point. In not a good way. So just keep melting cords so that the flaps fall shut. Those little flaps around your energy still passes through the chakra, but the flaps around the round openings can fully relax and fall shut. Sometimes they can't fall shut because you have like devices that are stuck there irritating them. So lift out the irritating devices. Angels, here you go. Lift out irritating devices. Angels, here you go. Lift out irritating devices. Angels, here you go. Lift them out. Angels, here you go. All right, good job. Okay. So creative ring, repair and unblocking. Let's do that. So your creative rings are up here, 1, 2, 3, and they are a part of your astral body energy system. They should be gold. I mean, they naturally are gold, but you can have like energy blocks sort of caked on them so they don't look gold. But anyway, make a copy of your creative rings out in front of you and use gold light to wash them off, repair them, unblock them, melt cords going into them. You can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings screwing with my creative rings, can you please recycle them? So creative rings, this is a top-down view of one of the creative rings if the flaps are irritated and stuck open. So obviously, like I said, just with chakras, you don't want them the flaps to be stuck open. You just melt enough cords and energy blocks so the flaps relax and fall shut. So you have 3 smooth gold rings for your creative ring. There's this really nice chain reaction if you work your creative rings enough so that the flaps fall shut, then it encourages all your major chakras along your spine, those flaps to fall shut as well. So then some might not if they're too damaged or too many cords or whatever, in the way, but a bunch of them will fall shut, the flaps, and so it's a nice chain reaction from the creative rings on down through your chakras, through your major chakras. we can do sticky gold wax for we can do sticky gold wax for your creative rings and all your 7 chakras. Why not? So creative rings, make a copy out in front of you of your 3 gold creative rings, and then your 7th chakra, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So they're oriented that way. So 7 is oriented this way, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 are oriented this way, with round opening in the front, round opening in the back. So you just imagine all that. You don't have to be able to see energy. And use sticky gold wax, gold light from your hands, with the heart, which sticks to whatever's not you and is healthy and gentle to get rid of. And so you do sticky gold wax through your creative rings and your 7 astral chakras and 7 physical body chakras. And then you're going to just move out all that junk with the wax and give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. So again, sticky gold wax, your creative rings, and your 7 astral chakras and 7 physical body chakras. And have the wax stick to the junk, move out the junk. Angels, here you go. You can do a little chakra alignment while you're at it. You get your creative rings where you want them, get your 7th chakra where you want it, just by using gold light, and it'll click into place. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Righty. Good job, good job. Woohoo! Let's celebrate that with some butterflies. Great job, great job. Woohoo! Okay. So it is totally fine to post comments and follow-up questions as I work. And a lot of times I'll just read them at the end after the healing. But sometimes the angels do want me to single out a particular question and address it, as shortly after it happens, just in the flow during the healing. So there are a few like that. So somebody says, short video of what, please? And referring to, I had said that in the first healing in this set on Friday, we did a section, unblocking vision area. And, clairvoyance, seeing energy, vision, is 6th chakra. And so you sit in your 6th chakra, and then you see energy, using the front of your 6th layer. Specifically the upper half of your 6th layer is usually where you can use as a vision area. I mean, you could use lower 6th, but not really necessary if you have the whole upper part of it. So we unblocked all the 6th layer, and then we specifically extra unblocked this front, the vision area. So we got rid of invasive beings, devices, whatever, to help everyone have a more clear vision area, which it can take a long time for people to start to be able to see energy, but working it in that way can speed up that process. So that's something that we did do in the first healing. And some people felt immediate improvement in their clairvoyance, but like I said, a lot of times you have to keep working it over time to see your clairvoyance start to open up a little bit. But anyway, so we're not going to do it today. We did it on Friday. And so you could go back to that healing. It's its own little chapter, the unblocked vision areas part. I may make it into a short video that'll be in the short video playlist as well, but I may not. And then there's another question the angels wanted me to do now. Are you doing the energy work on us as we watch, or do we have to do it at the same time for it to work? You particular, if I'm recalling who you are really, yes, I am healing you. Anybody that, you purchase the healing on the website, you're getting these healings. So if I say you're getting these healings, like you personally in an email, then, or, you sometimes if people just buy for themselves, I don't send them an individual email. They just get the group thank you email, the night before the first healing. But those are the people that I'm healing. Those are the 45 people I'm actually healing as I'm doing the explanation. I'm doing a healing. So that's why sometimes, you can unblock your grounding maybe a little faster than I do in the video right now in the live stream, because I'm unblocking grounding for 145 people and myself at the same time. So it takes me a little longer. But anyway, so yeah, do you have to heal yourself at the same time as I'm healing you? No, but some people do really enjoy that, because when I'm healing somebody in that moment, it can be easier to be present and feel safe, and so you might find that your own ability to see your energy and heal yourself is enhanced during that time of the live stream. So that's one reason. So anyway, this is a question. So that's me, so that I can find where I actually started it and put the chapter properly later tonight. But anyway, so, and then also some people that receive the healing, they never watch live just because, they're doing something at the time, and it's a goddamn 3-hour freaking live stream. Who has 3 hours, Some people do have 3 hours, but a lot of people don't. And so they don't watch live. Some of them watch the entirety later, or they watch little parts. They might read my summary, that's in the survey, the post-healing survey, or it's also in the comment section, within a day, it'll be in the video comment section, a summary of what it's done. And so they'll read through the summary and then they'll decide, okay, I want to redo this part and that part. And those parts will be their own little chapters. And so maybe they spend 20 minutes doing something, or 5 minutes doing something, or whatever, and there are people for whom, like, they might not feel a ton of benefit without doing that, without redoing things and re-listening. It depends. Some people just have less resistance to change. And so even without listening themselves, without doing it live, without anything, they feel these huge differences from each healing. Whereas some people, they maybe are more... they have a lot more inner conflict. And so for them, listening to the video either live or later really makes a big difference for them. And it allows them to really like click in and like sort of surf the wave rather than missing the wave because they have too much inner turmoil in general. So I hope that makes sense. So no, you don't have to heal yourself while you're watching. There are a whole different group of people that didn't buy the healing. Maybe they just didn't have money at the time, to buy it, but they wanted to, or they don't buy any of my healings. They just watch, which is fine too, so they're healing themselves without me healing them. So, there are all sorts of different permutations of what people do, and it's all fine. I hope that makes sense. And if you didn't know, if you're just watching this stuff, you've never purchased a healing from me, it's not like a closed group of people, that's why the majority of people I'm healing actually do have subscriptions. They've purchased subscriptions. And so there's like an automatic monthly payment. They don't have to think about buying them. And so that is true, but I make sure to have quite a big chunk of spots available for people to purchase on my website. So those people, maybe sometimes they purchase manually every month, or some months, or most months, or just like once every, once a year around their birthday, or, whatever. People do what they do, and that's okay. So hope that covers the explanation. If it doesn't, you could always post a follow-up in the chat, or later under a video if you have a question. That's totally fine. Or you could email me too. My email address is janet@jwhealing.com if something is not clear. But yes, if you got the thank you email before the healing, the night before the healing, then you're definitely getting healed. You're receiving the healings of this set. I am healing you during the live stream. And you don't have to do anything. It just is. You could sleep during it. You don't have to watch live. You can clean your house and listen any combination you want. It's fine. All right. Enough of that. All right, so we'll add in a little bit of love for the neck again. All right. So good karma windows are back here. Base of skull points are back here. Neck, obviously, that's clear. So gonna start doing it. So imagine a copy out in front of you of your neck. Use a lot of gold light, and neck and shoulders sort of go together, I guess. But just comb. You could start like with your energy hands within your neck and then just comb outward and drag out anything that's healthy and gentle to get rid of. So you just start within there in your neck and just drag out all the junk. And same with base of skull points. Start in your head and just drag out all the junk that's healthy and gentle to get rid of. So start in there, drag out the healthy and gentle to get rid of junk. The angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this junk? Deep breath while your angels do that. And then so now it's just a bunch of energy blocks, probably with a bunch of cords from people stuck into it. So melt away the cords from people. Melt everybody's energy out of the blocks. Melt your own energy out of the blocks. Or blow it up. Again, stick your energy hands inside your head and your neck. You can drag out all the junk that's healthy and gentle to get rid of. Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this junk? And then melt away cords from people. Wash everybody out, including yourself, out of these blocks. And then melt them all away or blow them up. Whoa, 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 whoa. You can make an extra grounding for your base of skull area, like a nice red grounding coming up straight from the core of the earth to the base of your skull. And bring up red earth energy. Just soak the base of your skull with red energy. And you can comb downward through that extra grounding for your base of skull so that you can release anything you need to through that extra grounding. Good karma windows, like I said, are directly behind your neck and your base of skull area. And they're like triple frame windows. So triple frame, what is that? They're technically 3 concentric squares. So this is a sort of a rough, quick drawing of what I mean by a triple frame. So that red one would be if you do the rainbow system of your chakras, where you set with your intention your first chakra to red, your second chakra to orange, third yellow, fourth green, fifth in your throat, light blue or medium blue, sixth deep blue, like a cobalt blue, and seventh chakra in the top of your head, purple. So red, orange, yellow, green, light blue, deep blue, purple. Right? So if you were to do that regularly, you just, that's the colors of your chakras, your major chakras, then the windows back here are the colors of your energy in that layer. So there'd be red, orange, yellow, red, orange, yellow, green, light blue, deep blue, purple, right? So all these triple frame windows back here. So you want to just make sure they're not beat up and they don't have cords going into them or hard objects sort of crashed through them. Just use lots of gold light and repair them and unblock them. And sometimes it can be like the Wild West back here. Like, are you kidding me? Look at all this junk. You know, so just you can freeze anything that's not you, drag it out, angels, here you go. Because like invasive energy can, if there's damage to these windows, invasive energy can weave its way through and kind of anchor itself into your base of skull points or your upper chakras. So you just freeze all that junk and lift it out, angels, here you go. Freeze all the junk, lift it out, angels, here you go. And you know, you wanna stay present, you know, because if you're lifting out big chunks of junk, you know, it can be a little bit. It's a good thing, but it's kind of like whoa, you know. So if you need to, you know, wiggle your butt, wiggle your toes, you know, take a moment, take a deep breath, check your grounding again. You know, that's fine. Rid of the junk, angels, hear you. You can also lift out the blocks in and around your good karma windows, lift them out and melt them away with gold light. Lift them out, melt. You can also repair the windows all at once using composite copy technique. So you make an image of one triple frame window and it represents all 7 of your good karma windows, and just repair and unblock, melt cords, melt hard objects, use gold fire, gold water, gold soap, whatever you like. Alrighty. So base of skull points, there they are. So these are in this diagram here. Those are traditional Chinese medicine meridians shown right there. The center midline one, that's governing vessel meridian. The yellow one, you don't have to know these names, but it's just in case you like that stuff. Yellow line, that's urinary bladder meridian. The green line, greenish blue light there, is gallbladder meridian. So the base of skull points is those 2 rows of points, one at the top, one at the level of the top of your earlobe, and one at the level of the bottom of your earlobe. So all those points right there. That's what I call the base of skull points. So just use gold light so that they relax and expand as much as they need to, and they unblock. You don't want them to be too tight or too compressed, too blocked up. You can comb again like we did before. You stick your energy hand in your head behind your base of skull points and drag out all the junk. Comb through your auras, get a whole bunch of junk. The angels can recycle any invasive beings hooked into this stuff. Deep breath. And then just melt cords going into all those blocks. Melt everybody's energy out, melt your own energy out, and then you can blow it all up or keep melting it completely with gold light from your hands. We'll add GV 15 to 20 just because why not? So it's in the same area. GV 15, 16, and 17 are in the base of skull area, and then it goes 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20 is right in the top. So GV meridian, it's that one in the diagram, it's shown gray, but you know, red is a good energy color for all your meridians. And just lots of gold light. You want your meridian to, any of these meridians, to be relaxed, flowing, have as much flow as needed. So because they can get really tight and brittle and compressed, or like even frayed and damaged and have holes in them. So you don't want any of that. Just like nice red flowy. So if there's anything that's not that, just use lots of gold light. And these energy centers, the acupuncture points, they're oriented, they're fit in the meridian itself and oriented so that they help the energy flow within the meridian. So unblock the little openings for each chakra, especially GV 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. GV 20 is in the top of the head. So by that point, you know, it goes up, all these little chakras go up, and so that 20 is in your head, in the top of your head, oriented this way, right? So just unblock it extra. And it's very tiny, you know, spatially speaking, but you can make a big copy out in front of you to, the blocks are more obvious if you want. Yay. And the your auras around your GV 15 to 20. Comb through those and just unblock, melt away blocks, and your auras around GV 15 to 20. All right, good enough. Good job, good job. So that would be the conclusion of the 5 essentials. Good job. 5 essentials meaning grounding, aura repair, chakra repair, creative repair, and good karma window, base of skull points. All right, so let's do this. I don't need to explain much. Mind Garden is a great exercise where you get rid of blocks that you didn't even know you had in your subconscious mind. Maybe some blocks you know you have in your conscious mind. And we're going to use Mind Garden technique to work abundance and receiving, specific money issues, in addition to just overall abundance of having what you need when you need it, and also your attitude around money and wealth and poverty and all that good stuff. Because attitude or outlook, perspective does matter in a literal sense, because if you can kind of give up before you even try to work on abundance, and a lot of spiritual growth starts in sort of an energy realm before you see the physical results in your life. So if you give up too soon, then you never get to really see much change in your life. So it's important to have a good perspective and a positive change kind of determination that actually can make a literal difference, so that you don't give up too soon in working your energy before you see changes and shifts. So let's do it. So go ahead and imagine out in front of you. I'm going to do gardens. If you like mind beaches instead, or mind, I don't know, mind forests, that's workable as well. But I'm going to imagine 2 gardens, right? One that represents your subconscious mind and one that represents your conscious mind. Make them connected and have them have a nice barrier in between, because there is some barrier between. It is healthy to have some barrier between your subconscious mind and your conscious mind. You don't need to be aware of everything all at once, all the time, right? But you want to heal that barrier with gold light so that you don't have unnecessary repression that is unhealthy, or unhealthy denial, right? There is some denial that's healthy, because maybe something's a little bit much for you to know at this time. But there's a lot of denial that's unhealthy, right? So if you just use gold light from your hands, right? And wash out of this subconscious conscious mind barrier any junk that doesn't belong there, anybody else's energy. Maybe somebody's trying to repress your mind, or kind of brainwash you a little bit. So wash out all that junk from your mind barrier, the barrier between conscious and subconscious mind, so that's healthy as possible, right? And then now you can start working your both gardens. And it doesn't matter which side, which one is on, but one is for your conscious mind and one is for your subconscious mind. And so you can sort of look and see, well, does one look healthier than the other? Does one look more inviting to you and more enjoyable to you? You could say, angels, if there are any invasive beings messing with either parts of my mind, can you please recycle them? Deep breath. And there may be 1 or 2 people in your life where you feel like they have kind of like a backdoor key to your mind, like there's an expression, they're living rent-free in your brain, so we don't want that, right? Your mind works better if it's just for you, both subconscious and conscious mind. So you can look for people that have an influence, too much influence on you, and people maybe you don't even realize have too much influence on you, because like I said, nobody should be in these mind gardens. This is just for you and your thoughts and your, inner voice reflecting on things and subconscious attitudes, all sorts of stuff. So wash everybody out. There might be like a bench where somebody in your family sits all the time, and just get rid of the bench. Wash them out of your garden. There may be an entire section of a garden that maybe one of your parents has sort of taken over. So you don't have to allow that. You can be peaceful. You don't have to harm them. Just wash them out. Just use so much gold light that they pop out, and just transform that part of the garden so it's the way you want. Because if you own it, then it's harder for people to pop back in, right? So just make it yours. And one of the things I said we would clear too is fear. And fear and abundance, well, courage and abundance are the same chakra, first chakra at the base of your spine. So if you clear fear, that can help abundance. If you clear abundance, that can help you be more courageous. So they're connected because they're the same chakra. So you can go ahead, and if you notice any fear in either of your gardens, maybe it looks like a big suppressing blanket, maybe it looks like a big rock, you can go ahead and melt that stuff away. Because there's wisdom, about risk and, being rational and wise about assessing risk in your life. And then there's just fear. So fear, as I'm using the word, is just that kind of irrational stuff that it doesn't make you smarter or safer, right? So just melt away all the fear blocks in your mind, either garden, or in the barrier. Maybe your mind barrier has fear in it from yourself or from other people. Wash all that out. And one person recently said to me, well, why am I not in all my chakras all the time? It's not like I had a traumatic childhood, but from past lives, or you may have taken on so you may have some unresolved fear baggage from a past life where if you don't clear that fear by the end of the life, then it goes into your next life and your next life and your next life until you clear it, right? So look for past life fear. Maybe it looks like a bunch of rocks. Maybe it looks like, a big menacing gate that doesn't belong there, and just melt away your fear. And if it's not melting, just wrap it in gold light and give it to your angels. Say, angels, can you help me with this? Right? And you could have other people's fear in your space. You know, maybe you took on some fear baggage from one of your parents when you were growing up because you didn't want mommy to worry or you didn't want daddy to worry, right? So just look for other people's fear baggage in your space. Maybe it looks like a big block of ice or something. It's just an example of what it could look like. Just melt away everybody else's fear. Sometimes when people have fear, it's hard for them to understand that other people don't have that fear. Like it kind of doesn't compute to them. They don't understand, like, well, you know, like they don't see that they just have fear baggage. They just think everyone should think this way. And so sometimes even accidentally, they may be giving you their fear because they feel like they're correcting your attitude. So don't accept attitude corrections from other people, only from your angels and your higher self, right? So just wash out everybody else's fear from your gardens. And as far as abundance, you may have issues with judgment, your judgment or other people's judgments about wealth, about financial wealth, about rich people, about poor people. And they might be from yours from a past life or even a past life relative. So, you know, you might be surprised at the weird pieces of energy, the weird perspectives that are stuck in your mind gardens around wealth and about money. So just wash all that out. You don't want to have any unhealthy limitations on your ability to increase your abundance. And you may have judgment against, like, maybe some of your abundance comes from receiving from others and not like directly from like a paycheck or, you know, people paying you. Maybe the universe sends abundance to you by paying a relative of yours, and then that relative or that family member, partner pays for a lot of your stuff, and it still could actually be your abundance energy. So try to clear any judgments that you have. I mean, you could tune your abundance if you want to receive more abundance directly and not through a loved one. But it's good not to judge the abundance that you already actually have, you know, and think of it as bad, because that can kind of put this downer vibe on all your abundance. So just wash out any abundance judgments that you have. Maybe you're, you know, part of your abundance comes from receiving help from others, and that it still counts as abundance. So just wash out any judgments from yourself or others about receiving from others. And maybe you have fear around receiving from others. So you can clear any of that fear, melt it away. You can imagine it like an object and just lift the object out and melt it away with cold light. Lift out any fear of receiving from others. Lift that out and melt it away. Because it is possible to receive from others in a clean way, even if that person did not have a clean intention. You can like sort of get the angels and yourself to just clean it off and receive it without the strings attached that person is trying to put there. There's just lots of gold light. You could have judgments about power and about having power or being powerless that is impacting your abundance garden. So just look for if you have any judgments or fear or baggage around having power or not having power. And melt all that away. And you can have views about material possessions. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, maybe you feel like you would like to have less material possessions, or you would like quite a few, you know. That's one thing, but there can be pain or baggage or trauma related to how you perceive material possessions and your need for them, or the fact that you don't need them. It could be influenced by old traumas and old baggage from you or other people. So go ahead and comb through your mind gardens and just clear out, melt away any trauma or judgments or baggage that is influencing your perception of material goods, material possessions, like houses, cars, clothing, books. Wash out any judgments about material possession. Any trauma that is affecting your perception of wealth and poverty and material possessions, just melt away that trauma. You can keep the wisdom, of course, keep the learning experiences, but melt away the trauma. All right, good job. And lastly, probably the most important part, saved it for last, is your attitude. In other words, like, do you feel, are you open to positive change? And do you have a sense of, like, a healthy sense of determination? Or, a little bit of, like, it's like sort of one part faith, one part determination, being determined and focused. Versus like feeling totally hopeless or being completely deluded and not rational, right? You want that middle area, that healthy area where you can imagine your ability to improve your life and improve how you feel about your life, right? So just look at your mind gardens and your mind barrier and get a sense of your attitude around abundance in both the subconscious mind and the conscious mind. And there could be, positive areas of the positive attitude areas of your garden, and then really negative attitude areas of your garden. And so just wash away everything that you feel is not healthy for you out of these gardens. Just melt it all away. It could be that you were feeling hopeful and somebody else kind of shared their pessimism with you. And if their energy is in your garden, even if it is optimism, it's going to block you up. So just melt away everybody else's attitudes about money and abundance out of your gardens and out of your mind barrier. Anyone else's attitudes about abundance and wealth and poverty and possessions, receiving. And you can have, too, as part of an attitude, you can have like resentment towards others. Maybe you're in a relationship with someone who doesn't have the same history as you as far as abundance in past lives. And so they approach abundance in a very different way than you do. Maybe they seem less skilled with abundance than you are, just because in this lifetime, the circumstances maybe are different and sort of impacts their perspective. So that's fine. It's okay that other people that you know and care about and are with are not clones of you, right? But you can be resentful or even fearful about that. So just you can wash out any resentment or any fear, any unhealthy levels of any unrest, any lack of peace with other people's abundance, right? Because you don't want their stuff in your garden, right? You want to be able to set your own abundance, but they have their garden, they have their past lives, they have their learning around abundance. And even if they're your spouse, it doesn't have to be the same. You don't have to be clones. It's okay, right? So just wash out any fear, any resistance that comes up in your abundance gardens or your mind barrier of your abundance gardens. when you think about other people in your life and their abundance levels. Do you want to be non-resistant? I would suggest, and empowered, so that you don't have to control everyone around you, right? You just you do you, as they say. Right, so lots of gold light. All right, good job. So we've been clearing out a lot, but hopefully you've been also adding and sort of creating along the way. But just to make sure, we could do some energy healing flowers, and you can give and nourish your gardens, your abundance gardens. So go ahead, and you can use your hands or not, but make energy healing flowers for your garden, for your abundance gardens. So just make it out of universal healing energy. So it can be gold light or rainbow colors or both. And just make as many healing flowers as you need, just the right vibration. Tune it to just the right vibration for your abundance gardens. And say, angels, can you check my flowers? And then give them to your abundance garden. Let's do that again. So make as many abundance flowers as you need for both your abundance gardens and your mind barrier. And say, angels, can you check my flowers? And give them to your gardens and your mind barrier. Let them go wherever they need. And you can say too, angels, can you please heal my abundance? And just keep breathing, and you can watch your gardens while your angels heal your abundance. All right, good job, good job, good job. Woohoo! So to celebrate, let's do some butterflies. All right, good job, good job. Woo! Yay! All right. Okay, so let's unblock receiving zones. I had said we would do this in advance in the discussion part before the healing. So it's you have receiving zones everywhere. Like all of you is a receiving zone. So you could receive energy, new energy of yours you're trying to bring in from in front of you, behind you, above you this way, but also above you directly into your shoulders, upper body, lower body, back, upper body, back, lower body. So, and then earth energy up from below. So just imagine a copy of yourself out in front of you and all your auras. And basically it's aura unblocking, but it's specifically you comb through and find the energy blocks that are in the way of you bringing in your new energy. And a lot of times it coincides with discomfort that you have, like maybe neck and shoulder pain because you have too many receiving blocks here and you're trying to bring in a lot of new energy. It's causing too much pressure and discomfort. So just do unblock all of them, but you could use your intuition and see which you need extra. And if you feel like there are a lot in one spot, you can do it more mindfully, where you ask the angels to recycle any invasive beings hooked into all the blocks first. And then you wash everybody out of those blocks, melt their cords, you wash yourself out. And then the blocks can melt all by themselves. Or you can blow them up. So comb through. So you could do like a mini U and comb through the whole, area at once. Comb through, and just. But in that case, do it mindfully. Comb outward, get all the receiving blocks that are healthy and gentle to clear right now. Say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this junk? And then now it's just a bunch of energy blocks with no invasive beings. So then, you can melt all the cords from people going into this junk. Melt yourself out, melt them out, and then it all just melt by itself. But if it doesn't, you could blow it up. Neck. Neck and shoulders can tense up if you're trying to receive this way or this way or this way. So you just do all around your neck and shoulders and unblock. Melt away any blocks that are in the way of you receiving your new energy. And again, comb through, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this junk? And melt the cords from people, melt everybody out, melt yourself out. Receiving straight from above, downward through your cravings, through your 7th chakra. So you can unblock above your head and above the top of your auras. So like this would be unblocking above your head, and then if here's the top of your aura, then this whole area you could have energy that people tried to dump here and it didn't break through into your aura, so it's sitting up here and it's just a bunch of blocks, so you can mount that too. Otherwise, if it stays there, it's just in the way. Feels heavy. So a lot of times if you feel kind of hopeless, you have a lot of blocks up here and you're above the top of your auras. So just it's a gold light and melt. And unblock your grounding enough and the bottom parts of all your auras so that you can receive as much earth energy as you need up through your groundings. Oh, right. Good job. Good job. So that was unblocking your receiving zone. Woo. Oh, I keep forgetting. If you could give this live stream a thumbs up, and if you're later watching this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. It does help. Okay, so I'm going to look and see what we need to do next. Okay. So I was looking at a sample person and I noticed that that person could not see some baby steps that their angels were trying to show them around abundance for their career. And they couldn't see those baby steps that the angels were suggesting because they had family baggage in their space about abundance, like family rules, family judgments, like, oh, this is what we do, this is what we don't do. And that can, whether you agree or disagree with those rules, if there's someone else's rules, it's like a mental block in your space, and it can get in the way of you hearing your own higher self, your own eternal wisdom from past lives, and also hearing your angels' advice. So, who wants that, right? So let's get rid of family baggage around abundance, which includes rules, other people's judgments about abundance, other people's advice about abundance. Clear it all out so that you can have good flow and presence and work your abundance yourself. All right. Okay. So you could do this so many ways, but I think we'll just do blanket exercise. So make a big gold blanket out in front of you and pile onto it copies of any family baggage that you have about abundance. And this can be from past life families that you've had as well, if you didn't get rid of the baggage from those lives. But it could be this life as well. So any baggage that you have from family members, any of their attitudes, their advice, their judgments around abundance, wealth, poverty, career, power, all that stuff. And just go ahead and we're going to melt this stuff away. But first, let's, ask the angels. Angels, please, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into all this baggage? Take a deep breath while your angels do that. And then now we're going to melt everybody out of the baggage first. So just melt cords going into the baggage. Use gold light from your hands and wash away everybody out of these piles of baggage. Melt cords from yourself and from others going into the piles. You want to fully dissolve all this baggage. Or once you wash everybody out, you can just blow it up, whichever is more fun for you. And if any is left over, you can wrap it up in gold light and give it to your angels. Say, angels, can you help me with this? Okay, so we'll do that same process one more time, a little faster. So big gold blanket out in front of you. Put onto it copies of any baggage that you have from family members that is in your abundance space. So it could be something that everybody has in your family, but it's baggage or trauma around abundance or wealth or judgments around possessions or whatever, or who's powerful, who should be powerful, who should be wealthy, blah, 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 whatever, right? Everybody else's junk around abundance, including your own trauma and your own baggage. Why not? For good luck. Put everybody's baggage out there. And you can say too, angels, is it okay to clear all this right now? Is it healthy and gentle to clear all this right now? That way your angels will check and they'll remove everything that's a little too much to do right now. And then go ahead and you can say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this junk? And then you can melt cords from people and from yourself going into these baggage piles. And wash everybody out. Wash yourself out as well. So there's just a bunch of energy blocks, and then you can keep running gold light through them so that they fully melt, or you can blow them up. And if there's any left over, just wrap it up in gold light and give it to your angels. Angels, can you help me with this? All right. Good job. Good job. Woohoo. Yay. Great job. Great job. What What a rock star you are. Woohoo! All right. Mhm. Okay, thank you for waiting. So let's wrap up. We'll do just a little bit of final clearing and repair. So imagine a copy of yourself out in front of you. So all your 17 auras, and then your physical body and your astral body are inside there. And then you have 2 big, wide groundings, hopefully. If not, make them big and wide, all the way down to the core of the earth. Bring your groundings up, by the way, as high as your 3rd chakra, which is below your sternum. So bring your groundings up high and just wash through them. You can set both your groundings to red or orange or yellow, both the same color. Make sure your grounding is flowing. Use gold light from your hands to unblock, melt away the blocks in your groundings. You can even remind yourself using affirmations, it's okay to let go. I can let go. It's okay to have abundance. I can increase my abundance. Because like I said, having a positive attitude isn't really all you need in life, but it does help. So allowing yourself that is possible for you to increase your abundance energy is a good thing. All right. And STEBs, clear STEBs, I wrote right there. STEBs stands for stubborn triggered energy blocks. So those are just any energy blocks that we still haven't cleared that are annoying you on some level. So put copies out in front of you of any stubborn triggered energy blocks you have, make big piles, and say, angels, is it okay to clear all this right now? And then go ahead and wash everybody out of the piles. You can say too, angels, if there are any invasive beings hooked into this baggage, can you please recycle them? And go ahead and melt quartz from people. Melt everybody out of these piles. And then go ahead and fully melt the blocks. Or, once you've washed everybody out of the blocks, you can blow them up if you want to. That's possible. All right, good job. And so chakra filaments, if you imagine your 7 physical chakras and your 7 astral body chakras, and there are good cords, which I call filaments, just because sometimes people think of cords as cords from invasive people. So these are a positive thing, your connection between, say, your 7th chakra of your physical body, your 7th chakra of your astral body, that's your 7th chakra filament, right? So 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, you have 7 chakra filaments. And just go through them and get rid of any hard objects or energy blocks, melt them away. You don't want to make it easy for people to cord your chakra filaments. You want them to be nice and strong and flowing and unrestricted so that you get lots of your energy flowing back and forth between your body and your spirit. All right, good job. So you can sometimes when you imagine the chakras separate like that, you might be slightly out of your body. You don't have to be, but sometimes people accidentally do that. So then you can imagine your astral body chakras fitting into your physical body chakras, which is what happens when you come into your body. And you can just move out any energy blocks in the way of chakra fit, where the astral body 7 chakras fit into the physical body 7 chakras. Move out any energy blocks that are healthy and gentle to get rid of in the way of your chakra fit, and just melt those blocks. Gold light. So move out any baggage or energy blocks in the way of having good chakra fit that's healthy and gentle to get rid of right now, and melt those blocks away. All right, redo your gold buffer zones. And as we wrap up, you can just ask your angels, can you help me finish up this healing? And angels, can you please help me with my abundance? All right. Good job, good job, good job. You're amazing. Woohoo! All right. So so I'm going to go ahead and take a bathroom break, and you could do that too if you want. And when I get back, I will do a little stretch break, doing a little stretching for a minute, and I'll do it on camera, even though I think I look kind of funny when I stretch. But maybe seeing somebody stretch will encourage you to do some stretching, and stretching is very healthy if you do it in a way that's gentle for you. But then after that, we'll do a little post healing chat time where it'll be a half hour long, and you could post any comments you have about the healing, how you're feeling after the healing, any comments you have about the theme of abundance, or today's sub themes, receiving and clearing fear, or self-assessment validation time where, like, you could, if you have an issue, rather than just saying, oh, Janet fixed my life, read what it's about. I would prefer that you practice being your own reader, and you could state your issue, but then also state what you think is happening energetically within you regarding that, and what you can do about it. So, oh, I think, this chakra of mine is too blocked, and that's why I feel that way. And so I could work on unblocking it more, or, I think it's, maybe I could unblock my grounding, an hour beforehand next time, or, if it's hard for you to have a self-assessment, just kind of guess. And then I'll validate what you wrote and see if that's what I see as well. And, maybe I'll have something to add to it. Okay, so that's what that self-assessment validation is if you want. But let's do a bathroom break. So I will get rid of the camera so you can enjoy the backdrop while I'm gone. There we go. That's nice. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, hi, I'm back. So now if you want to do some stretching, of course, don't let me stop you. I'll just do this for a minute. Alrighty, hello, 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 hello. Alrighty. So let me set a timer so I don't go overboard, as I am prone to doing in life. All right. I'm going to look for comments that I haven't read yet. Thanks for the butterfly emojis. Someone says, hello from rainy but warm Yokohama, Japan. The sun has risen here around 4:30 a.m. and I caught this live stream now. Yay. Go you. That's so cool. Very cool. Hello to you. Happy travels. Someone says, thank you, Janet. I feel so mellow and chilled out. Oh, good. I've been working the techniques from the May triplet, especially the yin yang work and fake pregnancies work. Fake pregnancies. That's such a Janet made up term. I love that. Fake pregnancies, for those of you that did not see that particular healing. Such a weird term. It refers to, like, when you're carrying energy blocks right here, it can look like energetically sort of like a belly, like a pregnancy belly, but you're not pregnant. It's just stuff that you're triggered about or worried about, and you can have a whole bunch of fake pregnancy bellies triggered at once. And so it's just a way of seeing what's triggered and melting it away. It's maybe easier to imagine and funnier sounding. Well, good. I'm glad that one helped. Fake pregnancy. Probably if you search fake pregnancy, it's Janet Wright healing. Don't just search fake pregnancy on YouTube. God knows what you'd get. If you search Janet Wright fake pregnancy, maybe it'll come up. If it doesn't, you can put in the comments and I'll fix it. But hopefully it comes up when you search that. But anyway, also there's a playlist. I keep forgetting to send that. I should send that in the emails to people, that have purchased this set. I always send the individual healing video link, which, of course you can just find it on my channel too, but there's always a playlist for the whole month, if we're doing like the whole theme for the whole month. So then all the 5 healings, the triplet and the twin set, they're all the videos are in the same playlist. So that playlist is linked in the info section of this live stream / video later. It's already there. The link is there right now. But anyway, okay. So you've been working that stuff. The yin yang work. The yin yang work, for those that don't know, it refers to it's like stepping forward and holding your ground. And that with abundance and with a lot of things, manifesting in general, it's like complementary abilities to be able to step forward and to be able to maintain where you're at and then step forward again. And so in some ways, yang energy is what helps you to step forward, and then yin energy is what helps you to maintain hold your ground. And so you might have one that's much stronger than the other, in which case it's just not so efficient. Like the easiest one to imagine is like if you step forward, but then you don't have strong enough yin, so then you just get beaten back down, so it's always like one step forward, one step back, one step forward, one step back. It's very discouraging. So strengthening both the yin and the yang enough so that you can step forward and hold your ground. It's just gentler and more productive, because then you don't get beaten back, so then you can use your energy to step forward again more easily. So anyway, I'm glad that you've been working that stuff. You said about 2/3 of the way through with that work, but to keep it part of my regular healing outline along with unblocking receiving zones. Yeah, I think that's exactly what your angels want. Yeah, true. Today we did creative rings and all your 7 chakras together, sticky gold wax. After we did like creative ring repair, I'll make it its own chapter, and maybe its own video, short video, we'll see, but I can't promise that part. But I can promise it'll be its own chapter. Just creative rings and all your 7 major chakras, 7 astral, 7 physical, just sticky gold wax for all those. I think your angels like that for you. If you add that to your somewhat regular routine, they would like that. Especially like when you're having focus issues at work in your home office. But yeah. I agree with your self-assessment. Someone says, thank you so much for the healing. You're welcome. Thanks for the emoji. I feel my angels closer to me than I usually do. Very nice. I am feeling a sense of safety. I also noticed, and part of that is like clearing the receiving baggage so that you're not pushing them away so much. So cool. But you could keep doing that, clearing receiving baggage, because I know that you mentioned like improvements with you and your spouse, and it's clearing receiving baggage is what's helping you the most with that. So, oh my gosh, did we not even, we didn't do it the way I wanted to initially, but we must not have needed it that way. Yeah, we just did Vine Garden receiving. Yeah. So that's interesting. I thought we were going to do it the other way too, but the angels didn't want that. So we only did, we cleared receiving baggage through the mind garden work today. But on Friday, we also did that thing where you imagine the clear receiving baggage section on Friday. I think I'm going to make that its own video, maybe. We'll see. It might be its own video. But anyway, it's like when you receive, you imagine what you could receive, the healthy stuff you could be receiving, but you're not, from the people, from angels and the universe. And imagine like gorgeous flower petals or something really cool. And then imagine whatever's within you pushing it out, like refusing it, and melt that. That's your receiving baggage. So melt away all your receiving baggage. And that made a difference between you and your spouse, and also clearly with you and your angels. So that's cool. You keep working that. It says that same person says, I also noticed I put a limit on my abundance with how high it can be. I see my sister, and you're mentioning her initials and mom in the way of it with a sign of sharing is caring. Oh, that's too funny. Yeah, I think you're totally accurate. That's hilarious. If so, then maybe flower healing and giving it to my angels so it doesn't cause drama. Scary. That's hilarious. I think their sharing and caring is more like misery loves company. I think that's the fine print on their sign. It's not that they want you to be abundant and then just share it with them. They would rather you just be the same as them rather than have you get more abundant and share it. They just want you to match them, which is common within families, which is why we do so much family boundaries work. So yeah, I think maybe just remind yourself that it's more of a misery loves company thing. It might make it easier for you to want to clear them out. As far as not getting backlash, it sounds like you're concerned about backlash from them. I think if you're going to live a gloriously fabulous life, you're going to get backlash from them one way or another. The question is, are you so gloriously fabulous that you can repair quickly and continue to enjoy the champagne of your existence? So I think that's a better plan than, okay, how can I like inch my way forward without upsetting anybody, Because the very fact of you inching your way forward would be enough to upset them. So it's more of like, go forward strongly, like lean into it, be bold, and be bold in your repair work as well. Boldly repair from the backlash. I mean, it is true that when you have a bunch of abundance baggage, if you wash them out first before you blow it up, melt their quartz first and then blow it up, then they're a lot more likely to ignore what you're doing for a while, but eventually they'll probably realize it and be like, what are you doing? Yeah. So I think ultimately, focusing on your own strength and your own nurturing and your own self-care and your own healing skill is going to take you further. Hope that makes sense. Would healing flowers, like conflict resolution flowers type idea, help in this situation? I think only a little bit. Depends on the people, but some people, they're really into this whole be like me or I'm going to hate you kind of a thing. Fear, we must all be alike. One of us, so it really depends who you're dealing with, whether the conflict resolution flowers, which is just energy healing flowers that you think, will be uplifting for them. And then you have the angels tune it and it doesn't have your energy in it. And then you give it as a gift to them, like outside of their space, or sometimes that does help, but yeah, not always. Someone says, I can't tell if I'm seeing an invasive being or an invasive person. The energy floats down and stays in front of my left eye area, like it moves when I move my eyeball. Either way, clear it. Either way, I'll just try to keep clearing the energy. Yeah, it sounds more like an invasive being, the whole moving thing. People, when they're in your space, they're not quite as clever and crafty because they're also grocery shopping or eating breakfast or working in the office or whatever too. So they have, they want to control you, but they just don't have as much, like they're not trying to be as tricky about it, even if they are hanging out in the back of your space, it's like they'll just stay there and maybe they'll move over, but that's the extent, whereas if there's something that's in your space sort of, like moving in 20 different ways, then that's just an invasive being with a lot of time on its hands. So yeah, you could just have it recycled. Yeah, just ask your angels, please recycle this thing. Sometimes I think with you, the angels don't immediately recycle something because they want you to see the extra, like it's a group of like maybe 20 invasive beings that some are inside your space, some are not yet in your space. And so they want you to see the whole group and ask rather than driving yourself nuts asking one at a time. So they try to get your angels might try to get your attention by actually not recycling something that you request because they want you to look and see more, and so I think you just see, oh, they didn't recycle it, oh, this is weird and terrible, whereas you could just have a discussion with your angels about like, okay, well, you didn't recycle it, what's the reason and what am I supposed to see extra, or how am I missing the point, and then they can explain, have it be a discussion starter with you and your angels. If that makes sense. Someone says, thank you so much. Receiving zones cleared my sight. Isn't that nice? Invasive energy last night. Thought it was a certain person with those initials. Felt like a shawl around my shoulders. Think I should redo chakra filaments every other day and is 70% done. Yeah, I think chakra filaments would be great for you for those invasive middle of the night things. Just check for like chunks and hard objects stuck that make it not flowy and cohesive. Check for leaks, in the filament. Because leaks indicate damage, which indicates an area that is more prone to invasive energy. Also working on non-judgment for leaders choosing to lead the way they do. Yeah, you have a real thing with that. That could be called a backseat driver. You're a big backseat driver. Like, you don't go for the leadership position. You just sit in the back, like with 100% opinion on what should be done by the driver, but you're not the driver. Not that your ideas aren't fabulous. It's just, you're not driving. So it puts you into a very, potentially invasive and karmically iffy territory, because you're really married to your ideas and your opinions about how the driver should be driving and what would be better for the group as a whole. Oh, so funny. I mean, it's funny because I'm not stuck that way. It wouldn't be funny if that were me. So I get it. That must be a really like a rock and a hard place kind of thing to be in an organization and really have strong opinions about how it should be run, but you're totally not in charge. So you have no place to decide how it's run. But yeah, either just don't be a part of any organization. But in the meantime, like, it's probably a good opportunity to clear some of that, like you're doing, clear the judgment, clear the it's not only the judgment, it's like a passionate judgment. It's like you really, like, you're feeling everybody's pain and everybody's hardship within the organization, and you're like, it would be so much better for us all, and it's like, just individuate, just be yourself. You are currently choosing to be in the organization. However, you are not the leader of the organization. Everyone else is an adult, a grown person. They're not your little ducklings, just, I think maybe that's part of it, like, just have your individuation, just get them out of your grounding. They're not your little baby ducklings. So, because I think maybe that's part of why you're like so passionately trying to change an organization that you don't lead. Because you want to help the baby ducklings. But yeah, so clear the baby duckling picture. They're not helpless baby ducklings in the organization. Oh. Okay. So anyway. It seems like there are less thrown objects. Cleared repressed anger with authority. Maybe my angels are protecting me more now. Yeah, I think you're halfway there. Keep working it though. It's a there's like several lifetimes where you've had this issue, and in those other lifetimes you never managed to clear it at all. This life, so far in the last like 2 weeks, you've definitely made good progress with it. Even before I started mentioning it. But yeah. So good job. Keep it up. Someone says, "Hi, Janet. Thanks for the healing. If I don't meditate, I lose track and it's hard to get back." Yeah, well, welcome to humanity. I work on the essentials, but I am not fully effective. Then I think that maybe beings that mess around and more essentials, and I loop around, this is so perfect. This is what surveys are like. And I'm like trying to make sense of what someone wrote, but they just keep going on. And it's like, what are you saying? Is there a question in there? Is there a statement? What is this? Oh, but I'm not fully effective. Then I think that maybe beings that mess around and more essentials, and I loop around them until 1 hour later. I do forgive myself, but I know I'm not fully present, and I know I can be. Okay. Yeah. That's just what I would call that is a pain sandwich. It's like, okay, insecurity, pain, trauma, pain, and then it's offered to me as a statement. And I don't know what to do with that. I mean, I'm sorry that you have that difficulty, but it's not a question. I don't know what to do with it. So just hand the pain sandwich to your angels and then just recenter a little bit and then be like, how am I doing? Or, what am I like? Is the question, is your issue that, you need to meditate more every day, or you need to just be more time efficient with your daily meditation, or you're not meditating at all for several days in a row? Like, what exactly is the issue? Because it's not clear from that to me. I hope that makes sense. I don't mean to be bitchy. Although perhaps I am being bitchy, but I'm just trying to be blunt. Like, I don't know what to do with that. There's a lot going on there, as they say in cooking shows. Like when someone has a dish and it's not like they feel like the flavors are muddled, they always say like, there's a lot going on there. But anyway, I love you. And you know that, which is the only reason I'm being bitchy, because I know you know that I love you. Okay. So, don't know what to do with that. I loop around them until an hour. Yeah, I just don't know what to do. What's the issue? What's the issue? If you have an issue and then you have a self-assessment, post it under the video and I'll see what I can do with it. All right. Someone says, I hurt my lower back right side on Friday. Oh, I'm sorry, muscle strain. And I thought it was hard objects contributing, but looks to be a really solid black rock. Is that right? I'm trying to rest. Okay, so the issue is you hurt your back in the lower right side Friday, muscle strain, thought it was hard objects contributing, but it looks to be really solid black rock. Hard objects versus solid black rock. Well, how is a solid black rock not a hard object? I mean, I think with an injury, a physical injury, there's always that question of like, was it an energy attack that manifested physically as well? Or was it just something physical? Or was it both? Like what's the cause and what's the fix, really? Because sometimes, like me personally, if I have like an issue, with my neck or my knee or something, like, or my elbow, I can fix it energetically, and then the physical part of it kind of goes away. Although, some chronic things, they might come back, but it's like if the energy in that area is weaker, it's more likely for the physical issue to be felt and be an issue. So, but sometimes, the physical issue is so serious, you need a chiropractor or something, So I guess, it seems like, so it's not clear to me what your assessment is. I guess if it's physical or both, you're saying it's both, I guess. lower back, right side. I mean, I think too, you know, it can be just somebody's energy just sitting there, you know, on top of a lot of energy blocks. And I would say that it does seem like initially you got rid of some hard objects that were there, you know, like thrown hard objects, like spear-like ones. Maybe that's what you're comparing, like the rock to like a spear. So you're like, well, was it spears? Is it a big rock that got hurled at you? But it looks like the big rock is like your sister's energy just kind of sitting back there on top of a bunch of energy blocks. So I would say your sister's the big rock. Your darling sister. But you know, as far as what started it, you know, probably that's always kind of interesting, you know, because if you look at like, okay, this is when the muscle strain occurred. Was there an energy attack before that? Yeah, I think so. Like an hour before that, there was like hard objects that punctured that part of your aura, causing you to be less present, causing you to make a weird movement, causing the muscle strain. So I would say in that case, energy attack happened first and then physical strain happened because you were less present. Excuse me. So, yeah. So obviously rest and, you know, maybe someday a chiropractor if it doesn't totally clear, but yeah, I think there's still more to clear regarding your sister. And it seems like all your auras are whole there, all 17. So I would say just some of the gold mesh sphere the gold mesh spheres of the Wei Chi auras haven't fully grown back. So you would check for like scar valleys, you know, the hardness around that area, preventing the gold mesh spheres from being continuous there. Because then the gold mesh spheres would generate gold light, send it towards your body. And so that could help make it easier to keep your sister out of that area. But then, you know, look for the energy blocks that you're avoiding that she's hooking into. Hope that makes sense. Someone says, yep, I was comparing the rock to the spear. Yeah, so I think some people have different styles. Some people will hurl a blunt object with so much force that it'll rip, just like as if a spear rips. But other people, they're a little more, you know, surgical, and so they'll use spears to cut through. None of that is good karma. Don't do it. It's totally not worth it. But yes, so, but no, you can get aura damage from hard objects, from like blunt hard objects too, like a refrigerator style, you know, or, you know, just depends on somebody's personal style. Usually there'll be one way or another. I used to read somebody, before I was seeing spears too much, I used to read somebody and their spouse was very disgruntled and they would always use spears. It was like his thing. Oh yeah, people can do both, either. Oh, and then you said, interesting that it's my sister. She likes to throw stuff to cause physical pain. Nice. That's more my birth father. My birth sisters, one of my birth sisters, she just likes to get me stuck, but not really in a like a causing pain kind of way, just like a sort of a quiet misery kind of way. And then my other birth sister just kind of likes to go in and sit there and take up space. So yeah, you have people that will, you know, create all the damage and the other people just sort of come in afterwards. But yeah, fun with families. Fun with invasive family members, which for some of us is redundant to say invasive and family. Let's see. I don't have any more comments. Oh, I only have 2 minutes anyway. Let's see. Oh, I got another comment. There we go. Hi, Janet. I've got surgery for my hip in 3 weeks. Ta-da. It's been bone on bone for 5+ years. I've always looked at it as a physical issue, not energetic. I don't see anything on the astral. Is that right? No, it's been both this whole time because, I mean, it's not that it's not a physical issue, but it is both because you know how like after some healings and stuff, it gets better. So that's part of that is I think healing related, you know, to make it not as bad. Like, you know, how present you are in like all those tree trunk areas, you know, because hips are one of the tree trunk areas. So it's like, you know, how you come in and these are all anchoring areas, you know, all the major joints, wrists, hips and knees and ankles and all that. So, yeah, I thought you knew it was both. I mean, you know, it's certainly physical, but it's both. Yeah. So healing helps even if you get the surgery. I mean, obviously you're going to get the surgery, so, but it's both. I guess that's your question. Well, your self-assessment is that it was just physical, but no, I would say it's both. I mean, I think your real question is like what started it? You know, was it just physical first and then energetic, or was it? I mean, if you look at like your recent past lives, I think you've had hip issues in your last 2 past lives as well. So I think there is definitely an energy component to it. I mean, you could have created a life where you had, you know, you had a physical issue over and over, but typically it's the emotional baggage and the mental baggage and all that kind of superimposed on your body that creates the physical issue over and over. Because each time you're having it, you have a totally different body. So I guess what your angels are trying to emphasize with it is just that, you know, yes, have the surgery, but also work it on a level of like clearing resentments, clearing resistance, you know, being present in all your major joints, you know, forgiveness, self-forgiveness, you know, like up with life, like positivity. Because people store different things in their joints, in their major joints, you know, like some people store a lot of repressed anger in their major joints. Some people store grief in their major joints, you know, and so obviously it's good to not do that and try to, you know, have like sort of an up with life kind of flowy vibe there, you know. So that could be something you work on between now and the surgery, just so that you enjoy the post-surgical effects more. You know, just work on clearing resistance, clearing resentments, clearing judgment and shame, self-judgment and shame, you know, out of all your major joint areas, all the tree trunk areas, you know. Tree trunk area also includes above. That's sort of the idea of the tree trunk. Like there's the trunk and there's the root flare of the tree, you know, all these major joints. So above here too. You know, so you just imagine above your head and then all those major joints, you know, on either side of your spine. So shoulder joints, elbow joints, wrist joints, you know, hips, knees, ankles, that kind of stuff. And just, you know, clear out the self-judgment, clear out the resistance, clear out any grief, you know, all that big yucky stuff, you know, out of joints. So I hope that makes sense. All right. You guys are awesome. So I hope you are enjoying end of May. Don't really have much to say as far as other things, do I? Oh, I guess so. Ah. Oh, someone says, thank you. We'll work on the joints to clear out all the yucky stuff. There you go. Clear out yucky stuff from your joints, which is good homework for everybody, by the way, if should you choose to accept it. Anyway, okay, so butt and glutes. I just want to reiterate what we mentioned in the first healing in this set on Friday. There's a whole little chapter on it. We did what we did with it was the biker shorts unblocking. So we're not going to do it now, so I'll get rid of the doing part. But anyway, I had read that the glute muscles, like gluteus maximus, gluteus medius, and gluteus minimus, I learned thanks to a client email, are the three main muscles making up your butt. And gluteus maximus is the biggest, most voluminous one, that is the one that gives you that pretty butt shape. Well, it's, I guess, most related to the nice butt shape. But anyway, I had read, or I had saw this video, and I linked it below. I'll link it again. I'll link the glute video in the comment section, but it's already linked in the Friday video. Link glute video. He's very long-winded, though. I'm warning you, the guy in the video, but it's good information. And my client verified it. But it's very important to have strong gluteal muscles, the gluteus maximus, etc. And so there was this one exercise, the glute bridge, and then she mentioned one, the clamshell exercise, which I hadn't heard of. So I'm going to have to work that. I'm going to have to look up YouTube videos on that one. The clamshell exercise for your glute muscles. And the one in the video that I linked, he talked about the glute bridge, which I had even done before. I knew about that one. But anyway, apparently it's not just for vanity and cosmetics, and flirting that to have a good butt. Although, fun fact, you can improve the flirtiness of your butt immediately because the astral body butt, you can shape it however you want. That's just energy. So it doesn't take a whole lot of glute bridges to make a nice astral butt. And if you have nice energy on your astral butt, it really affects how people perceive your physical butt. So like you could have a nice, physical butt, like muscularly nice, but have like all sorts of trauma or whatever, or fear or whatever on your astral butt, and really the energy of your physical even. And it's not as appealing on energy level. Or, I mean, like you can have like invasive energy from people who thought you did have a good butt, and their energy is in the energy of your butt. So you can wash everybody out and just have a nice up with life kind of butt if you want. You could do that right away. But anyway, on a practical level, it's apparently really important, more than I thought, to have strong butt muscles, glute muscles, because it takes pressure off your lower back and your hamstrings, those back thigh muscles, because your glute muscles are supposed to be so strong that like maybe like 70% of the work is done by them, and then like something like 20-10 for lower back and hamstrings. But if your glute muscles aren't strong enough, then that makes your lower back overwork and your hamstrings overwork, so they can be overly tight and painful. So I always love that, where vanity motivates you to do the right thing. So this is one of those cases where perhaps vanity will motivate us all, or some of us, to do the right thing and do some glute strengthening exercises. So you can Google that kind of thing, or I don't know. Yeah. YouTube videos to the rescue. But anyway, someone's mentioning, coincidentally, the butt exercises are what eliminated my pain and kept me walking and sleeping without pain. Yay, good for you. So yay for keeping your glutes strong. Yeah. Well, and then the fun bonus of having a nicer butt. But yeah, if you're in pain, then it's more important to be in less pain. So that the glute exercise is good for that. Good for you. And someone is laughing at the whole glute thing. Oh, laughing at somebody else. Ha ha, your astral ass. There we go. Yeah, it's totally true. Like I've seen people that have like, technically an out of shape physical butt, but they have phenomenal energy on, their butt just has a great energy and it's very sexy and appealing. But there are people, in the other way that have, and it could be just for people that are more aware of energy, but probably anyone you'd want to date is probably a little more aware of energy, So, but like you can have somebody who has technically a nice body, like muscular wise, but who has just crap energy, whatever it is, like addiction energy or trauma or, whatever. And it's just like, it's just really not appealing. So yeah, energy wise, you can improve your sex appeal quite a bit just with energy healing and not exactly working out. But the working out really is worth it. I am realizing that more now than I realized in earlier decades. I mean, in my 20s, my body was great just for doing nothing at all. I was just lucky and danced a lot and it just worked out great, with meditation only. But then my 30s and 40s, I just banked on good energy. But now in my 50s, I have to do both. Work out and have nice energy. Oh, so funny. Oh, someone asked, how are my tomatoes coming along? I showed them in the last live stream, so you can look that up. There's a little chapter garden update right at the end of the last live stream. I showed them all on camera. They're pretty good. They're still pretty small, which is fine because it's still too cold at night out. So our soil temperatures aren't warm enough yet. Let's see. Someone's showing little muscle emojis. Yep. All right, you guys, you're amazing. And I hope you have a good morning, afternoon, evening, whatever's next for you. And we'll end with the butt image. Why not? That's funny. Let's see if I have some glitter. No, I can't do glitter and show the butt at the same time. I'll have to fix that later. Oh, no, I can. Okay, good. All right. There we go. Yay. Good job. You're so amazing. You can at least have a great energy butt today, right? So clear out all the yuckiness from your butt and just have only wonderful. You can make energy healing flowers for your butt. Oh my God. Just make a whole bunch of energy healing flowers. Nice healing energy for your butt. Angels, can you check my flowers, right? And then go ahead and sit on them. Soak them into your butt. Energy healing flowers for your hips, your whole biker shorts area, right? Sexy, healthy, sexy, strong. Angels, can you check my flowers? Or give them to yourself. All right, on that note, I just can't improve on that anymore. Okay, bye. You're so amazing.